Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And it's way too early to figure out how this thing works, apparently. Yeah, we don't usually come on in the mornings here in the U.S. Usually by the time you see me on stream, I've had a whole day of this stuff chugging down. This is my first sip, so pardon me while I get my motors revving here and get some wake-up juice in me. Good morning. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. Where we have been for 6 years doing reviews, interviews, all kinds of pop culture related items. More recently, in the past couple of years, we've branched out into publishing. We've done some fiction anthologies. We've done a young adult, not a graphic novel, young adult novel for superhero stories. And this year, we are branching out into something new. And I think that it's going to be of particular interest to people who are in England, who are in Australia, basically if you're outside the United States and you're crowdfunding your comics. Now, I've interviewed a lot of people who are doing crowdfunding. We've supported so many creators out there. And one of the things that I've seen as an impediment to the US market, which is, speaking without statistics in front of me, probably the largest customer base for purchasing crowdfunded comics, is the shipping costs. Now, the shipping costs, is something that is pretty much out of your control because you can't just say, well, I'm going to ship it for this much, because the post offices decide what it's going to cost to go out. And then you have to pay for your supplies. Those boxes aren't free, neither are the bags and the boards. So obviously you've got some cost that goes into the putting of the packages together and shipping them out. If you are in the US and you're looking at a crowdfunded comic in the UK or in Australia or even Canada, that international shipping cost can sometimes be an impediment to somebody backing your book. They'll see, it's a $10 book. That's comparable to a $10 book in the US, but I'm only paying $8 to $10 shipping in the US, and I'm looking at $20 or more to bring it in from outside. That I'm not going to spend. So what can be done about that? Well, that is what Critical Blast Logistics is doing. We have a method in place now where we can bring that ship cost of your overseas inbound to the US book down to a rate that is comparable to a US book. So that is it's not going to increase the cost of your book. In fact, it's not going to cost you any money at all. It's going to lower the ship rate that you put on your campaign and make you more competitive with the US books. So if you have a good book that people want, but it's skipped over because of shipping costs, now they're not going to skip it. So you're going to sell more books. That's the point of all of this, is that you can sell more books by lowering your shipping costs. What we do is we set up a distribution channel here in the United States. It's a drop point, so that when you print all of your books, then instead of sending one here, one there, at $20 a pop, you would go through, and who do you have over there? We'll just use the UK for an example, because I've been looking some of this up. You would go through Parcel Force, I believe, is what you use in the UK to send out packages. You send one box, all the items shipped over here to Critical Blast. And the link to Critical Blast Logistics is in the description of the video below. So if you're watching this later, just click on that. You'll probably get a more concise rundown of what we do that's probably a little bit more thought out than Coffeeless RJ can spit out in the mornings here. But I wanted to speak in the mornings because if I speak at night, you guys are in bed. So I'm reaching out to you while you're awake and watching. What happens then is that, first of all, before you even start your campaign, you contact us. We'll set up a private live stream chat or an email intercourse or whatever. Discourse. Things on my head. But we will work out what you should set your shipping cost of your item before you even launch your campaign, so that it's already set up. Because that's the goal, is to get the campaign more manageable. Then, once the campaign is done, you would send all the items here in one box, which is a lot cheaper to ship one box than it is to ship however many hundred or so that you might be shipping instead. We're already going to know what this box is going to cost to ship because we're going to estimate it and we're going to be able to scale it. So that's going to be part of the shipping cost that you already put into your campaign. Now, secondly, once the book arrives here, once all your materials here, you'll be contacted again. We'll photograph everything. We're going to open it up. We're going to make sure that the inventory we received matches the inventory you say you sent, and that everything's in good order, and that it was insured when you shipped it. That should be part and parcel of putting your package together. Once that's done, we will go through the tiers that you say you've sent us, separate them out, bag them, board them, close them, Gemini mailer, label. We're even looking at maybe even putting a branded bag around the Gemini mailer. So we might even brand it with your title. That's not part of what I'm doing right now, but it is something that's cheap enough to do that I'm actually considering doing it. We can do all of that and bring the cost down. So what I'm looking at here is if it costs you, say it costs you, if you're in the UK and it costs you 160 pounds sterling to send a 25-pound box of comics to the US. Okay, so that's 160 pounds. Let's just say it's 100 comics for easy math. That is what, £1.60 for one book, for each book? Okay, so set that £1.60 aside. Now, we take the book and your trading card or whatever, we put it into the bag and the board, all that good stuff about packaging I just mentioned, and we'll ship it out the media rate here in the US, or we can go priority, but I'm using media right now. We can talk about what you're shipping and how it's got to ship later when you actually have a campaign. But at media rate, with all the packaging, with our fee, we can get that down to $5.76 on our end, or £4.22. Now, that's £4.22 plus the £1.60 per book. So you're looking at £5.82 to ship a book, which is about what, $8 US, I'm guessing right now at the current exchange rate. That allows you to say, okay, well, I'm just going to put a $10 US ship rate on any book that I'm shipping to the United States. That gives you a little bit of a cushion in case there's a currency exchange. It gives you a little bit of, flexibility in case you want to add some extra insurance, or in case the package is a little bit heavier. That's the thing. If the package is heavier or lighter, you'll ship a smaller package or you'll ship a bigger package. But having charged it in advance at that rate per book as an estimate, it'll scale. It'll scale. So it's not like you're saying, well, gosh, I estimated that I was going to send 100 books for 160 pounds sterling, and I ended up sending 7,000 books. You collected all that money per book. It's going to scale up. So none of this is out of your pocket. This is what you're charging your customers for shipping, and then passing it on to us to actually do the fulfillment and the shipping. Now, the thing is, why would you send it to a fulfillment house to do that? Because we've seen people do it and it's gotten screwed up. Well, that's because people have used fulfillment houses in the past to ship out things from people who don't know comics. We know comics. We've been doing comics for 40 years. I was reading my first comic when I was 5 years old, which means it's been 40 and none of your business plus years of me reading comics and handling comics. I got about 3 dozen or more. I got long boxes over here. We can handle comics. We know how to take care of them. We know how to treat them. We know how to ship them with care. So your books will be in good hands. Now, I know that some people have gotten around the shipping costs by having them printed in the US and then just dispersed straight from the printer to the recipient. That's a perfectly viable option. I completely understand that. But what if you want to add some add-ons? What if you want to throw in bookmarks or trading cards or stickers? What if you want to sign your books? It's a little bit harder to sign the books if they've got to be sent over to you and then you got to send them back. That costs money. Doing it through Critical Blast Logistics means that you can do whatever you want to in your packages, as far as sign them, throw packages together, stickers and cards, what have you. We will work with you on every single tier, what it's going to ship, because now the tier I quoted you for that for that £5, 82 shilling. We've got a spreadsheet. Yeah, we we do math here. That's for a book. That's for a book, a trading card, a sticker, anything that's in a package that is less than £1. So we're going to guess with your packages, what your weight's going to be. We know that the standard floppy comic is 2.5 ounces. If you got a 48-page square bound, it's going to be about 5 ounces. We're going to weigh it all up. We're going to know in advance what your tiers are going to be, and we're going to conservatively round to the next one if we think it's going to cross it, so that you don't get any surprises. But we could ship a package out that's 5 pounds. If it's a 5-pound package, that's a heavy box, guys. I don't know who's getting the 5-pound crowdfunded comic box unless they're getting one of them war kits that is coming with Miss Fury from Billy Tucci and Dynamite. Those might be 5 pounds or more. But then again, those wouldn't go out media. If you're sending out a lot of books, if you're sending out a lot of printed material at media rate, that would go out on our end for about the £1 60 shilling plus the £5 77 shilling. So still 8 shillings. We're still sending it out for like $12 or under. If you wanted to go priority with that, then we could put everything in a flat rate envelope, still putting it in the Gemini mailer. Just because I said flat rate envelope doesn't mean we're putting it in a floppy envelope. We take care of comics. But we would be able to do that for £7 59 shilling plus your £1 60. So we're looking, if we could send things out at a priority rate, which would, come with $50 of insurance when you do that already. So if your package is $50 or under, you've already paid for insurance from us to the customer. So it's insured in case something happens between us and them. I would also say that even on the media mailing rate, the service we use to print out our labels, we'll take your CSV file, which will be all your customer information, because you have to give us that so we know where to send the books, right? We upload that along with an email address. And what happens is that each item, each label will have a tracking number printed on it. And your customer will get an email saying, hey, we printed the label for your crowdfunded package for this project, and here's your tracking number. So now your customer has the ability to track where is their book from the moment it gets boxed up here at Critical Blast Logistics, every step of the way through the postal system until it's on their doorstep. They know when it's arrived at their home. So they can leave work and run straight to their door and get it before it gets rained on or whatever. Or they could just, say, oh, look, I'm going to meet the mailman at the door and walk downstairs in their slippers and jammies. Whatever you want, it will be arriving at them. And they will know when it comes. So if this has you intrigued, let us know. There's a link in there below us. There's an email address you can link to and follow through on. Let me just say that this is just the first step of what we're doing. There is more on top of this that is going to get far more exciting for crowdfunded people. Let me just say this: if you sold 110 books, or if you sold 100 books, why do I make up numbers? Just go easy math. If you sell 100 books to the U.S. and you're going to send them to us for disbursement, if you've gone in demand, I encourage you to overship. Send 120. Because then if you sell in demand, you don't have to ship more over here. They're already here. And we'll just ship them out, and you just send us the postage for each one. Easy peasy. Secondly, and this is where it gets really exciting, when we have multiple clients, when you and your crowdfunding cohorts are all using us for this service, and we have these overships, guess what we're going to do? We're going to say, hey, hello, local comic shop, or not so local comic shop, but in the United States. Critical Blast Logistics has a catalog of rare, hard to find, import, independent comic books. And you can buy them from the creators, and we will ship them to you in one box. So they can say, yeah, I like that book that was on crowdfunder number 1. and I wanted to get that book from crowdfunder number 2, but I can't just have all these things because the shipping kills us, even if it's cheap shipping, right? So we will be able to put together an a la carte system where, like, well, I'll give you want 2 of crowdfunding campaign number 1, 3 from campaign number 2, 4 from campaign number 5, 1 from campaign number 6. We'll get you all of those. Send us the money for the covers. We will forward that on to the creator so that you'll get money from us, and then we will put all those books bagged and boarded in one box, one shipping cost, and that is going to be intriguing to your retailer. So it will be like a little mini distribution system for the crowdfunded comics. If this intrigues you, if this excites you in any way, I'm excited. I've had just a half a cup of coffee, and already I can feel the juices perking up again when I talk about this. Click on the link. Check out Critical Blast Logistics. Email us. Schedule a time when we can talk about your campaign and what you want to put in it and what we can give you a specific price on. We will tailor our quotes to your needs. So, with that said, I bid you all a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And we will be back tonight talking more crowdfunding comics when we have creators on. And we may do this morning thing a bit more often just to make sure that people see that we're out here and that we're doing this. We can't wait to work with your campaign.